Today's lecture will be on interior finishing materials for office buildings. So we will go through some examples and some suggestions for the materials for your project. And this is a schematic drawing of what the office space might look like. And this is using BIM and Revit illustration. It has bathroom, toilets, it has the ducts, it has the space for the office. Offices are mainly made of open space for employees and some closed offices for the managers and administration. These are typical illustrations. I hope you can develop something like this from your BIM or Revit drawing. When we think about interior finishing materials, we think about it as the final layer which protect and fix the surface of the building elements. This layer plays an important role in visual and psychological definition of interior space. So all what you do in the architectural design and the arrangement of spaces and structural systems and technical systems and so forth will all be covered by these interior finishings and surfaces. This will be the element that will impact the user the most when they start to use the space. They will not recognize much of the systems that we develop. They take it for granted, but what affects them is the final appearance of the interior space. So we have mainly three surfaces, as discussed also in Ching book, Architecture, Form, Space, and Element and Order. These are the base plane, the floor, the vertical plane, the walls, and the overhead plane, the ceiling. So this is the environment or the container that people use and understand. We also have openings, doors and windows. We have several systems that are embedded in the space, providing lighting, HVAC, firefighting, surveillance, sound, IT, etc. So, this is also will support the furniture and fixtures and other elements that will come in place. So we have mainly three elements: the overhead plane, that is the ceiling, that has all the technical systems that we talk about. We have the walls and partitions, and we have the floor or the base of the surface. Materials used in interior finishings are wide variety. We'll mention some of them. First, we have the cement-based materials. These are materials that are developed from cement component. They include tiles, cement surfaces, and so forth. We have earth-based materials. This is material taken from the earth and developed to make other materials, like marble, like tiles, like stone, materials that is coming from earth. We have glass, which of course originally is type of sand that is melted and become a glass material. And glass has wide variety. starting from glass used in the exterior or facade of the building to glass used as partitions inside the space. We have metals used for the ceiling or the walls. We have polymers or plastics are also becoming available now and commonly used, especially in ceiling and wall coverings. We have natural stone that mostly used in the exterior of the building, but interior material depends on the theme and the idea and the vision of the interior space. We have textiles, fabrics, mainly used as curtains or tiles and so forth. We have, of course, wood, which is an ancient material that is used as material for ceiling or for walls and floors. So cement-based is what we call cement finishing materials made of mortar by mixing cement, aggregates, and water. Earth produces earth-based materials. They produce ceramics that are in different types and sizes. They can be porous, semi-porous, or non-porous ceramics. Glass is formed by melting ingredients together at high temperature, shaping an inert of the material. Metals are resistant and shiny materials obtained from mines. Polymers, plastics, are used through a specific process with other materials, organic or inorganic. Plastic is not found in nature, but obtained by the treatment of natural elements. Natural stones are obtained from cutting solid layers under the soil. Textiles used as carpets and upholstery fabric for furniture and curtains. Wood and wood composite is a material obtained from tree trunks. We'll start with some types of partition walls. And I noticed that all of you draw the walls as if they are all made of brick. In office buildings, you don't usually use the brick as dividing. We use it in bathrooms, in certain places, but not in everything because it is heavy and requires cement, and it's not convenient to use in office buildings. We usually use partitions made of different materials, wood or panels or glass or so different types of materials. And we have the traditional brick partitions. We have glass partitions, concrete partitions, metal glass partitions, wood partition, and timber partition. So we have a variety of types of partitions. The least that we use in office buildings is actually the brick partitions. We use different materials, and depending on the vision of what you want to provide in the space, we can have glass, we can have glass blocks, we can have wood and so forth. The one partitions, their main purpose is to divide areas into a number of sections and rooms, allowing each to be used for a specific purpose. They provide privacy. They are lightweight and cost-effective. and they occupy minimum area and can be easily constructed in any position. So we don't want to waste the area of the space by building walls, brick walls. We want to use a lightweight material, so the overall weight of the building is lighter, and they can be easily installed and removed. So we can have the brick. As you see, it's the most cumbersome type that has cement and workmanship and so forth. We can have partitions made of solid and glass. We can have aluminum studs covered by plywood or type of wood. False ceilings and drop ceiling are also important type of or part of the interior. Most of the time, people look up to the roof and get affected by the roof shape and design. So many materials can be used for the false ceiling or drop ceiling. There are different types according to application, material utilization, and we can have plaster false ceiling, wooden or plywood false ceiling, gypsum false ceilings, metal false ceilings, PVC, fabric or cloth false ceilings, mineral fiber false ceiling, and glass false ceilings. These are some examples of what false ceilings might look like with chandelier lighting or indirect lighting embedded in the ceiling itself. It can also be made of wood and with lighting embedded in them. They can be gypsum false ceilings, acoustical tiles, or solid tiles. There are numerous types of false ceiling tiles where the lighting is also part of the tile. We have metal false ceilings with different shapes and colors and styles depending on the design of your space. This is PVC false ceiling made of strips of PVC connected together to form the ceiling. Fabrics, cloth, false ceilings, and we have mineral fiberglass false ceiling as tiles, where also the lighting and sound and firefighting is embedded in it. We can have glass or mirrors as false ceiling to increase the perception of space to have endless feeling. Flooring materials, they are also numerous, and there are more and more new materials every day, from vinyl to ceramics to carpet and so forth. So we have the traditional type of tiles or tiling. We have vinyl, which is more convenient in office buildings since it does not reflect sound, so the space become more quiet. We have wood, and we have also new types of imitations like HDF and MDF types of wood floors. Are you all following me?
Yes. Yes, doctor.
Okay, all right. So we will now go through some examples, and I highlighted the important elements that you should consider when you design the space. The first thing we consider is the type of flooring and how the tiles will be arranged in the space. we also consider the type of walls or finishings. And important part to consider is the skirting or the link or the connection between the floor and the wall. This is an important element that affects the the connection between floors and walls, because these are different materials that are connected, one horizontal and one vertical. And this part is usually a source of visual inconvenience due to the relationship between the two elements or the two surfaces, and also protection of the end of the floor from damage or problems of water or whatever. So this is also an important part to consider. The window design and use depends, of course, on the interior and the exterior. What is the view that we see from the window? The color of the window frame as related to the rest of the design. The air conditioning, in this example, we have exposed system of air conditioning, as we see. You see the I-beams of the roof that are carrying the upper floor, and the technical system is going through the beam, but in a specific place and specific location that is designed by the structural engineer. The lighting fixture and how it is supported from the or suspended from the roof, and its location in relationship to the space and the other elements. Here we have example of another type of floors. Can be ceramic tiles or marble. We have materials for the finishing of the walls and counter, reception counter. And we have design for the wall and the location of the display. Different types of lighting. We have strip lighting in the roof. We have hanging lighting on top of the reception counter. So we can have different types of lighting depending on what we want. This is an office that is spacious and translucent because of the use of glass partitions. In offices, we need more audio privacy, so people cannot hear each other when they are talking. We need some visual privacy, but sometimes visual privacy is not important. We can have offices that are made of glass and people can see who is there. It's not a problem. We have the ceiling, and we have the lighting systems inside the offices with fire alarm, air conditioning, lighting. And notice the distribution of the lighting system, or all the distribution of all the elements in the roof. There has to be clear organization, balanced, symmetrical, distributed evenly on the ceiling. Here we have different materials. We can have a material for the floor, and we can use even carpet on top of it, a VIP area or luxurious area. We can have lighting in the roof and different types of lighting in different parts. It's not one system for all or one material for everything. We can be creative in designing each space individually. Here we have carpet tiles that are easily installed and easily replaced if they get damaged, and they can have different patterns and different shapes and different texture as we like. The roof, as we see here, is acoustical tiles with the systems embedded in the tiles. Again, here we have also carpet in different size, different design. This surface must be very durable and non-reflective of sound, and if one piece is damaged, can be replaced easily. We don't have to replace the whole floor because one part got damaged. So if there is a damage in these two tiles, we can replace them and keep the rest as it is. So durability and maintenance are very important in the design of interior spaces. Here we have flooring, also carpet with a different type that is non-pattern. We have glass doors and glass partitions. We can see the inside of the office with its special spotlights, higher level of lighting inside the office so that people can have enough light for work. These are other types. As you see, most of the partitions used in offices are lightweight partitions made of glass or panels, sandwich panels, and so forth. Here we have an office with special lighting fixtures for a manager. And of course, we think also about plants inside and wall fixtures like clocks and stuff. This is an office space with cubicles. So in the large office plan, the open office plan, we don't have to have partitions all the way to the roof. We can have partitions so that they provide privacy, visual privacy between employees and designated workstations. We can have flooring. The roof has the tiles, the AC, the sound system, the firefighting system. So it is all part of the ceiling. We can have on the sides, maybe on the circulation path, we don't have acoustical tiles. We have gypsum boards that are, they have lighting as embedded spotlights. This is another type that has higher partitions. So the partition provides more privacy. Cubicles are more defined as if they are small rooms, but partitions are lightweight and can be removed and reinstalled, and we can change the arrangement easily in the office space. We have here also another type of cubicles. So everything must be lightweight, modern material, providing spacious feeling. The technical systems might not be covered by the tiles or the acoustical tiles or the false ceiling. They can be exposed, but they have to be designed. If we are going to keep the technical systems exposed, we have to think about the design, the colors, the arrangement. We do not just leave it open as, we do not just leave it as it is. It has to be designed, and of course it will cost more than the normal systems because they require special finishings. As we see, the ducts for the AC, the last part here is the thinner part, and then we need larger volume to get the air to the last piece. Here is another type of tiling that also gives some visual illusion in the corridor. We have a special type of lighting. So everything is designed, and this is part of the architect's work. You have to think about these finishings and shapes that will impact the design. In hospitals where they have trolleys and beds going back and forth, we need to protect the wall from the damage that might happen from the trolleys and chairs and beds going between the rooms. Come on, as you see here, we also provide a small space for the doors to open so that if someone is going back and forth with a trolley or something, they don't get hit by a door opening. So we have to make sure that we create these small lobbies in front of the rooms for the doors to open. And you see the ceiling, suspended ceiling with the lighting and the fire alarm and the firefighting and sound system, of course, and so on. Here is another example of patterned tiles for the floors. As I told you, we don't have to make this wall to wall. We can have on the sides two parts that are not one color, and the pattern that we want in a specific place, so that we can have tiles. As you see, the tiles are used completely from here to here. There are no residuals. This half is used, the other half is used on the other side. Here is an illustration of a reception that, as you all have in your offices, a reception desk, lighting, fire alarm, fire fighting, different sound system, different types of lighting. So the tiles for the floor. Here we have carpet tiles in the floor, glass and solid panels for the walls. We have the fire fighting system, the lighting, and acoustical or fiber tiles for the roof. Again, we can have the system exposed, but we have to make sure that it is what we want. So the air conditioning, the lighting, the firefighting, the electric wires hanging from the ceiling. Also here, this is before applying the acoustical tiles. So these are the key sections that will support the tiles. The lighting is implemented. The wires and electric outlets are provided. The firefighting, the red pipes of the firefighting system are all in place. So we have everything in provided in the ceiling before we apply the acoustical tiles. Also, we have the vertical studs that will support the panels of the partitions. This is also another example. This is a more lightweight example of wood and glass and tiles for the floor. Lighting, we can have different types of lighting and fixtures. Here is a meeting area that is very exposed. We can have it all glass, and the ceiling fixtures are provided here. The tiles, carpet tiles for the floors. So these are several examples to make you think about what would be the appropriate design for your interior architecture of the place. So again, these are panels. We have surveillance cameras. Also, it's important. We have carpet in the floor, wooden doors, glass, half closed panels. This is another example of an office space. You see, each one has a theme or style. And this theme or style is applied on everything in the space. Here is another innovation for the ceiling design, where we have the false ceiling and the lighting as strips. And you see the design integrates the ceiling with the vertical elements of the glass panels of the exterior facade, and also with the floors. So the line comes from the ceiling to the walls and mullions to the floor. This is another meeting room, has one special design of lighting directly on the table, so that provides more lighting for people to read as data show or TV screen, display screen for meetings and for PowerPoint presentations. Or we have the AC, we have the lighting, we have the panels of wood. This is another space that uses glass blocks, and glass blocks are also interesting feature that provides a continuity and translucency between spaces, but they are heavy or heavier than the just glass. This is another semi-open rooms. They have partitions and they have some glass in the walls. The examples are endless. I just brought you some examples to consider in your design and to focus on some materials. Here in this wall, we have some stone type material. It can also be, now it's made by ceramics, and there are some ceramic tiles that gives you this impression or feeling. Carpet tiles, light fixtures, and so forth. So you can have the wood as covering for the walls, with tiles, ceilings, and so forth. So you can keep looking for for examples, for styles of finishing, and just select one and use it. The important point, as you see, the three main surfaces that we have: the base plane, the floor, the vertical plane, the wall, and the overhead plane, the ceiling. And then we have doors and windows. This is all what we have to consider as architects. Then there is another layer of furniture design. Each piece of is selected, materials, shape, ergonomics. Design is several stages and several layers. But these are the things that you as an architect will need to show in your drawings. So you need to show the full ceiling elements, how will it be made, what type of materials, what style, the lighting, the air conditioning, the firefighting. So these systems will all show in the interior space. So this is a wooden suspended ceiling. Different styles can become more wild and more interesting. We can have lighting in different styles and different shapes. So the ideas are endless. Just think about them in an organized way. The floors, walls, ceilings, and the different systems, and how all this is integrated. So that's the thing that we want to achieve, is how to integrate the systems together in the space so that they can work together properly and provide appropriate space for people to use. More examples that show sometimes hidden, sometimes exposed systems in the ceiling. Depends on the theme or the style of the design that you want to have.